Have you ever wondered why some people seem immune to the manipulation of narcissists? They possess a unique inner strength that narcissists both crave and despise. These individuals are super empaths, people who embody authenticity, integrity, and an unshakable sense of self-worth as solid as a diamond. Narcissists, with their dazzling masks and cunning tactics, constantly seek to manipulate and control others to feed their inflated egos. But super empaths, with their deep compassion and keen insight, can effortlessly see through this facade. The presence of a super empath acts like a mirror, reflecting the darkest corners of a narcissist's soul. They make narcissists feel uneasy, fearful, and out of control because they cannot be manipulated or deceived. This stark contrast creates an intense silent battle, where the authenticity and integrity of the super empath become the most powerful weapons, dismantling the schemes and manipulations of the narcissist. The encounter between a narcissist and a super empath is not just a random moment in the endless flow of life. It is a dramatic play where light and darkness intertwine, challenge, and transform each other. This is not merely a story of confrontation between two individuals, but a reflection of the inner struggle that all humans face within themselves, between greed and compassion, between control and freedom, between selfish ego and unconditional love. The narcissist appears as an embodiment of darkness, carrying within them an inflated ego built upon insecurities, selfishness, and an insatiable thirst for power. Their world is a stage where they are the main character, where all the spotlight must shine on them and everyone around them is merely a pawn serving their agenda. But beneath the mask of arrogance and dominance lies an empty soul, an unspoken fear, the fear of being abandoned, forgotten, and losing control. On the other hand, the super empath enters the stage with a pure light and an authenticity that shakes the very foundation of the narcissist's reality. They are the embodiment of compassion, love, and freedom. Unlike the narcissist, they do not need the spotlight to feel their worth. Their self-belief is rooted in deep self-awareness and emotional intelligence. They do not seek to manipulate others for power because their true strength comes from integrity and their ability to heal. Narcissists and super empaths are polar opposites, yet they are drawn to each other like two opposing magnets. The narcissist is mesmerized by the super empath's inner light, something they crave but can never possess. The super empath's positive energy and freedom both attract and enrage them. To the narcissist, the super empath is not just another person but a challenge, a living reminder of everything they lack. Conversely, the super empath, with their natural ability to heal and their boundless compassion, feels an urge to approach the darkness within the narcissist. Deep down, they hold onto the belief that even the most lost souls deserve light and transformation. They step into relationships with narcissists, hoping that their love and understanding can soothe the darkness and bring illumination to the hidden corners of the narcissist's wounded soul. But this dance is far from simple. The narcissist does not accept light so easily. Instead, they deploy every trick in their arsenal to manipulate, control, and pull the super empath into their chaotic world. From subtle criticisms and psychological harm to playing the victim, the narcissist does whatever it takes to maintain their position of power. Narcissists do not live in a world of genuine connection or empathy. They build their lives on a foundation of contradictions, an inflated ego, and absolute control. To them, power and admiration are not just desires, they are necessities for survival. However, the admiration they seek does not come from genuine respect, but from fear and dependency, created through masterful manipulation. In the narcissist's world, people are merely chess pieces in a selfish game where they are the sole ruler. Friends, partners, even family members, all are seen as tools to reinforce their power and satisfy their insatiable ego. They use charm and intelligence as a trap, luring people in, only to slowly strip them of their independence and freedom. To a narcissist, emotions hold no true value. Instead, they are mere instruments of control. They can feign empathy or concern, but every display of sincerity serves the ultimate purpose of making their target dependent. Your happiness is a threat to them, while your pain fuels their sense of power. They carefully craft intricate scenarios to keep you within their grip, making you believe that without them you cannot exist or find fulfillment. However, behind their mask of confidence and arrogance lies a deeply insecure soul. They fear rejection, fear not being good enough, and these fears drive them to constantly manipulate and dominate. But the paradox is that their obsession with control turns them into prisoners of the very world they have created. They live in perpetual fear of losing control and are never truly satisfied. Every display of independence or resistance from you is a direct blow to their fragile ego, forcing them to reassert their dominance. In contrast, the super empath is the embodiment of authenticity, freedom, and inner resilience. They do not need external validation to affirm their worth because their self-belief comes from deep understanding and unwavering self-respect. They do not chase artificial glory, but choose to live a meaningful life shaped by integrity and sincerity. The super empath understands their worth, and that allows them to stand firm against every manipulative tactic the narcissist throws their way. They are not easily shaken by criticism or power games. Instead of feeling the need to retaliate, they remain calm, knowing that their true value is not defined by anyone else's opinion. The strength of the super empath does not come from dominance or display, but from their unwavering integrity, even in the most challenging circumstances. They have empathy not only for others, but also for themselves, which allows them to heal their wounds and rise above any adversity. This resilience forms an invisible yet powerful shield, protecting them from the psychological attacks of the narcissist. It is precisely this light of authenticity that becomes the narcissist's greatest threat. In the presence of the super empath, the narcissist is forced to confront their own fears and emptiness, the very things they have spent a lifetime trying to hide. The super empath acts like a mirror, reflecting every weakness and falsehood inside the narcissist, throwing them into a state of inner turmoil. Beyond that, the super empath has the power to inspire positive change in others. Their authenticity and perseverance serve as a guiding light for those trapped in the toxic cycle of narcissistic influence. They prove that one does not need to sacrifice their personal values to please others. Instead, they choose to live truthfully and honor their core beliefs. Imagine a lavish party where crystal chandeliers cast shimmering reflections on elegant champagne glasses, and soft melodies intertwine with lively conversations. Amidst this dazzling scene, the narcissist, dressed in extravagant attire and wearing a self-satisfied smile, basks in the admiration of the crowd. They revel in the attention, intoxicated by the power that comes with being adored and praised. But then, the grand doors swing open and the super empath steps in. There is no need for grand gestures or loud proclamations. Their mere presence commands attention. A quiet confidence radiates from them, an unshakable calm that draws people in. The once captive gazes fixated on the narcissist now seem irresistibly pulled toward this new figure. Their presence is like a fresh breeze sweeping through the suffocating air of pretense. Where the narcissist seeks to impress with exaggerated stories and flashy displays, the super empath captivates with quiet sincerity and inner strength. Where the narcissist manipulates with sweet words and calculated charm, the super empath wins people over with genuine kindness and deep understanding. Their extraordinary sensitivity allows them to perceive the emotions and unspoken thoughts of those around them. A single glance, a subtle gesture, and they can sense joy, sorrow, anxiety, or hidden pain in others. This contrast unsettles the narcissist. For the first time, they feel their position of dominance waver, their spotlight dimming. They are no longer the sole center of attention, no longer the undisputed ruler of the social stage. They are now facing a true adversary, someone immune to flattery, deception, and manipulation. Because the super empath can see through the layers of masks and illusions, touching the deepest and most hidden corners of the human soul. To the narcissist, the arrival of the super empath is not just an inconvenience, but an outright threat. a humiliating exposure. It unveils the emptiness and pretense they have meticulously concealed. It shatters the glamorous facade they have spent so much effort constructing. It forces them to confront the harsh truth they have always run from, the hollow core beneath their grandiose exterior. A narcissist thrives on admiration and validation from others, much like a parasite clinging to a host for survival. But the super empath shines with their own light, fueled by inner strength and a pure heart. They do not seek applause, nor do they crave attention. They find fulfillment in connection, in sharing, in uplifting others. Two opposing forces, two entirely different ways of living, now stand face to face, locked in an unspoken yet intense battle. The presence of a super empath is like an earthquake that shakes the very foundation of the narcissist's carefully constructed world. In their universe, they are the sole sun around which everything must revolve, the perpetual star of every show. But when the super empath enters, the balance shifts. With their unshakable authenticity and deep-rooted self-worth, they shine independently, needing no external validation. To the narcissist, this is not just an inconvenience, it is a severe existential threat. They feel their grip on power slipping, their grandiose ego, built on flattery and subservience, now under siege by someone they cannot control. The super empath is not only immune to their games, but also exposes their deception to those around them. As the narcissist sees the stage they once dominated being shared, or worse, overtaken, they descend into a state of panic. This is not just a minor bruise to their ego, but a devastating blow to their entire system of power. The narcissist is not only threatened, but utterly unhinged by the presence of the super empath. To them, this person represents everything they lack: genuine authenticity, unwavering self-respect, and a free spirit untouched by the need for control or external praise. This stark contrast highlights the emptiness and fragility they have desperately tried to mask. Every time the super empath stands firm, fearlessly expressing their values and beliefs, the narcissist feels their power drain away. The admiration they once commanded now holds no meaning. As people begin to see through the illusion, they realize no matter how hard they try, they cannot manipulate or dominate the super empath. Tactics of criticism, blame, or character assassination all fall flat. The super empath's resilience not only defies their control, but also plunges them into a spiral of desperation as they lose the grip over the world they once believed to be theirs. To regain control, the narcissist does not hesitate to use every underhanded trick. They fabricate false stories, spread malicious rumors, and attempt to discredit the super empath in the eyes of others. They smear their opponent's reputation, create doubt and isolation, hoping this will diminish their light. Like black crows envious of the phoenix's brilliance, the narcissist tries every means to overshadow the radiant glow that the super empath brings. But what they fail to realize is that the light of authenticity cannot be extinguished. On the contrary, it shines even brighter when faced with darkness and hatred. Every effort the narcissist makes to bring down the super empath only serves to highlight the contrast between the two extremes. One represents deception, manipulation, and fragile power, while the other embodies authenticity, freedom, and an unbreakable inner strength. The super empath is not a flawless being, but they possess a quiet strength that makes them not easily subdued. They do not need to engage in the narcissist's power games. Instead, they choose to stand firm on the foundation of integrity, like a lighthouse standing tall amidst the storm. Their existence not only challenges the narcissist, but also inspires those around them. By living truthfully and staying committed to their values, the super empath proves that no one needs to sacrifice their freedom or self-respect to please others. When facing the narcissist's psychological attacks, the super empath does not retaliate with hatred. Instead, they choose to respond with compassion and composure. This not only helps them protect themselves, but also further highlights the difference between the two worlds, one of darkness, the other of light. The battle between the narcissist and the super empath is not merely a confrontation between two individuals, but a symbol of the struggle between two opposing worlds. The narcissist represents deceit, control, and insecure power, while the super empath is the embodiment of truth, freedom, and self-respect. Although the narcissist may use every possible tactic to mask their weakness, the light of the super empath remains brilliant, continuously spreading and inspiring hope. This difference not only highlights the power of truth, but also serves as a reminder that no matter how much darkness exists in the world, the light of integrity and self-worth will always triumph. The super empath does not merely exist, they shine radiantly, inspiring and guiding those who are lost in the shadows. In conversation, the narcissist often exploits personal attacks or manipulative speech to gain the upper hand. But when faced with the super empath, these weapons seem to lose their effect. The super empath possesses a unique and powerful weapon: sarcasm. But this is not the cruel, venomous sarcasm commonly used by narcissists. Instead, the super empath's sarcasm is an art, full of refinement and sharpness. It is not intended to hurt or belittle the other person, but to skillfully expose the flaws in the narcissist's words and actions. The super empath's sarcasm is like a sharp blade wrapped in soft velvet. It is deep enough to make the other party recognize their mistake, but not so harsh as to cause unnecessary harm. This subtlety makes the narcissist feel hit, but unable to react rationally. They do not possess the wit or linguistic finesse to counter in the same way. Instead, the narcissist's reaction is often loss of control, showing anger or resorting to personal attacks. But these reactions only serve to weaken them further in the eyes of the super empath and those observing from the sidelines. The greatest difference between the super empath and the narcissist is not only in how they use language, but also in their purpose and motivation in communication. For the super empath, a debate is not a battlefield for ego gratification. They do not engage in discussions just to win or make others feel inferior. Instead, they speak for justice, fairness, and to bring positive value to the conversation. Every word they say, no matter how sarcastic, carries constructive intent to illuminate the truth and foster positive change. In contrast, the narcissist enters arguments with an entirely different motivation. For them, a debate is not about seeking truth or solutions, but about defending their fragile ego and maintaining the perfect image they want others to see. This is why they are often unwilling to accept the truth, especially when that truth damages the flawless persona they have carefully built. When faced with the super empath's sharp reasoning and logical arguments, the narcissist quickly falls into defensiveness. Any statement they make, whether arrogant or exaggerated, can become a double-edged sword. When exposed to the light of the super empath's insight, they are easily pushed into a weaker position by their own words, making them not only feel insecure but also deeply wounded. Unlike the narcissist, the super empath does not need to resort to personal attacks or malicious words to achieve their goal. They understand that sharp but refined sarcasm holds far more power than outright hostility. When they expose the weaknesses in the narcissist's arguments, they do not just reveal their opponent's deception and frailty, but also highlight the true values they stand for. Furthermore, the super empath's sarcasm is not intended to inflict deep harm on the other party, but to awaken self-awareness in them, something narcissists often lack. Every statement, every well-placed pause, every subtle emphasis from the super empath acts as a mirror, reflecting back the narcissist's contradictions and illogical reasoning. And while narcissists rarely have the courage to truly look into that mirror, its mere presence unsettles them. They may try to deny it, ignore it, or lash out in frustration, but deep down, they know that the truth has been laid bare. The deep sarcasm of the super empath is not merely a response, but a clear testament to their inner strength and unshakable self-respect. In these confrontations, the super empath not only defends their values, but also exposes the weakness and emptiness of the narcissist, things they constantly try to conceal. The super empath is not only a symbol of compassion, but also an embodiment of resilience and the ability to transform negative energy into positive strength. They are like lighthouses in the midst of a storm, steadfast in their light of sincerity and integrity, even when the narcissist tries to manipulate and drag them into the whirlwind of chaos and suffering. When the narcissist begins their manipulative games, they They often use subtle psychological tactics to weaken their target: blame shifting, passive-aggressive criticism, and inducing guilt. But with the super empath, these strategies rarely yield the desired results. Instead of getting drawn into meaningless arguments or elaborate psychological dramas, the super empath chooses to remain composed. They do not allow themselves to be provoked or emotionally trapped. When faced with criticism or attempts to undermine them, the super empath does not react with anger or hurt feelings. Instead, they take a step back, observing the situation with calmness and insight. This composure not only protects them from emotional harm, but also makes the narcissist feel as though they are losing control. Self-awareness and clear boundaries form the foundation of the super empath's mental strength. They not only know their own worth, but also understand that no one has the right to harm or control them. The boundaries they set are not walls of isolation, but shields to protect their personal space, a place where they can grow freely and live authentically. When the narcissist tries to cross these boundaries, the super empath remains unshaken. They do not need to shout or react aggressively. A steady gaze, a firm statement, or even well-timed silence is enough to affirm their autonomy over their own life. This encounter is not just a confrontation, but also a lesson, a challenge arranged by the universe to forge the strength of the super empath. When faced with manipulation and emotional storms created by the narcissist, the super empath does not just endure wounds and losses, they also learn to protect themselves and establish clear boundaries. It is in these most difficult moments that they discover their true power. They realize that they are not responsible for saving the narcissist, nor do they need to sacrifice their values to please others. They learn how to turn pain into strength, transform criticism into opportunities to reaffirm their worth, and convert challenges into stepping stones for personal growth. This journey not only makes the super empath stronger, but also helps them understand the true meaning of freedom and love. They come to recognize that genuine love is not dependency or sacrifice, but mutual respect and understanding. No matter how hard the narcissist tries, the super empath's light cannot be extinguished. On the contrary, that light only grows brighter through the trials it endures. The encounter with the narcissist does not weaken the super empath, it solidifies their self-worth and allows them to become an inspiration to those around them. They become beacons of guidance, leading others away from the toxic cycle of manipulation and deceit. Their light does not just bring hope and peace, it inspires others to live more authentically, love more deeply, and seek true freedom in life. The battle between the narcissist and the super empath is not just a personal story, but a symbolic conflict between light and darkness in the human soul. In this journey, the super empath does not merely defeat the darkness, they help illuminate a world filled with love and understanding. They are living proof that the greatest strength does not come from power or control, but from sincerity, compassion, and the ability to remain steadfast in the face of life's fiercest storms. And that light, though challenged at times, will never, ever fade. And that is why narcissists despise the super empath so intensely, because the super empath, with their open heart and boundless compassion, dares to refuse to participate in their game of manipulation. They would rather stand alone in truth than become a puppet in the hands of a narcissist. The super empath understands that true happiness does not come from control or power, but from genuine connection and self-respect. They choose to step out of the shadows of deceit, seeking the light of freedom and true love. They are the silent warriors, the hidden heroes among us. They do not seek applause or admiration, they only seek to live in alignment with their values. And it is their resilience and authenticity that inspire us, giving us the courage to face narcissists, protect ourselves, and pursue true happiness. Remember this, you are not alone on this journey. There are many super empaths out there, walking the same path, ready to support you. Let us come together to create a world where truth and compassion triumph over deceit and manipulation.